All right.
You want to do a visual cue? Just want to do a quick clap. There you go. We're in it.
In it to win it. Right on. I'm curious about what got you interested in the beginning to visual storytelling. Is that always something that interested you, like film, or is it something you developed later on?
Very, very early on. I started as a skateboarder, skateboarding all my life.
How old were you when you were?
Well, I bought my first camera when I was 7. It's every skateboarder's dream to become sponsored. And we have this saying in skateboarding that says, footy or it never happened. Meaning, don't talk about what tricks you could do or what you're capable of. You rather show me via video or don't talk about it. And that's kind of what got me on video is I need to show people what I can do and not talk about it.
What was that first camera you had?
It was a Sony Handycam. It was back, I grew up kind of on the poor side. So I got this like really cheap camera where it was tapes. You remember? You could like record over things. So I couldn't edit it on a computer like we do now.
Yeah.
I actually had to like do a trick. If I messed up, record the tape, record.
Right. And then the tapes would wear out. And,
yeah, exactly.
And then it took forever to like convert them to digital, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You had to have a FireWire cable to like a tape adapter to a computer. It was crazy.
And that was difficult. I mean, just very time consuming. Not like,
exactly.
And now you can just pull out your phone and hit stuff. It's just the world is
night and day.
Changed so much. Was it really awkward, like when you first got on film? Did you feel like I guess you weren't speaking right away on film. You were more showing your tricks. But when it came to the part of like speaking,
I was freaked out, and I think I'm more freaked out than most people because I spent so much time behind the camera that I knew how powerful and how important things were, that by the time I got in front of it, like I knew that whatever I said was super important. So the average person, they don't really know how much power video has.
Right.
I did. So getting in front was much harder for me at the beginning.
Huh.
Yeah.
When was the first time you made a buck with your video?
Yeah, it was a tip. I shot I was actually, I think here in Santa Barbara, I just shot a birthday party.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of captured the event. She gave me $20 and I was like overwhelmed. I'm like, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Because that's how you know you found the right thing, right? When you just do it anyways.
How long ago was that?
That was about 9 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, 9 years ago I made my first buck. So I was 13 years old.
And did you start thinking like, whoa, yeah, I want to make money doing this?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. So where do you go from there? How do you evolve? I mean, what was the first steps?
Well, first was maxing out my schedule with my passion. So I was maxed out making videos. To a point where it's like, okay, well, now that I'm doing what I love all the time, now I can only, now that I'm maxed, the only people that can get on my schedule now are people who could pay me.
And did entrepreneurship run in your family?
Not in my parents, but their parents, yes. My grandfather was a huge entrepreneur, and he passed away before my dad even was like 4 years old. So my dad didn't even get to know him. But yeah, my parents kind of, in their whole side, they inherited, all the money, so they didn't have like the kind of hunger and the kind of struggle that I had. So, I think they say any good idea comes from like that pressure or that struggle. And I don't think my parents really struggled that much in the beginning, so they never wanted entrepreneurship like I want it. So it's funny because my dad kind of looks at me like his dad, the guy who is trying to do all these things, and it's very
right. Yeah, I mean, entrepreneurship is kind of it's kind of interesting. It's almost geographical too. The more entrepreneurs are like in Michigan, where the automotive industry was, everybody had something that they were set. They got paid really well for doing something, so they didn't have that hunger. But you had that hunger. Where do you think the hunger comes from?
Well, it's all incremental. But starting from skateboarding, I wanted to get sponsored, to just say it. It's all story, right? Everything's storytelling. I want to be able to say that was a part of my being. And then once I started making videos and working with companies, I got my first official sponsor when I was 9 years old.
Nice.
I started realizing that, with videos, it's not just trick after trick after trick that gets you a sponsorship. Sometimes I learned really early that showing some falls or showing you going to this to like McDonald's to get a drink. It humanizes you, helps people connect with you, and before you know it, they want to be like you. They want to buy the stuff you're wearing, drink the things you're drinking.
Right.
So I kind of learned really early on that it's not just about what you do, it's about who you are, and the more you can communicate that, the more people can connect.
And showing that struggle too, right? You want to show you falling down, and then landing.
Yep.
As opposed to just like,
just being the best, unrelatable,
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think that your passion started to shift more from the skating to the filmmaking? I mean, is there?
Yeah, I just realized that people are so cool. There's so many ways I'd love to help the earth that I just can't. But I know people who can. And me putting a video camera in their face and directing it and making something authentic could essentially be my part of helping.
Well, where do you think that comes from? Where this ability to see the jewels in people that maybe others can overlook?
Yeah, the question is why can't people see the jewels in others? I don't know. Maybe it comes naturally, but when I see people, I am just so stoked, and I can pick out their talent and their brand and their personality right off the gate.
Give me an example where you've found somebody that maybe didn't even see it in themselves, and you start to showcase and see that. I mean, what is that process?
I mean, I've done it with businesses, with people. I mean, I'll give you an example. Last year, I was traveling the country, going to coffee shops. I've worked at coffee shops pretty much my whole life, so I have this relationship with coffee shops. I believe they're opportunity rich. I believe they're collaborative. I love coffee shops. I was in Florida last year, and I get a call, or I was actually looking on Instagram that the local coffee shop in town was closing. And to me, that was huge because I believe coffee shops were the future. They housed entrepreneurship. They housed certain things that I believe are the future. But the coffee shop didn't really see it that way, or they weren't thinking about it like that way. So I come back and I launch this campaign that doubles their revenue in 72 hours, and it brings them back to life. And basically what I did was I came back and I made this video that said, look, this city, Santa Maria, California, we have potential. Amazing things can happen here. But if we take away this coffee shop, then I guarantee you we're going backwards. And it was my way of showing the community, showing the coffee shop that there is something here. There's a personality, there's a brand, there's opportunity here that you're not seeing.
So I imagine that message kind of spread, right?
Oh, yeah. It spread like wildfire. Like I said, we doubled profits in 72 hours, and it kept going. And the only way they could say thank you to me was to give me the business, part of the business, which I just sold late last year. So it was like, it's little things like that where you can see the true story and you see the message and you see the importance. That there's an example.
Where do you think people are missing it with? I mean, you're preaching visual storytelling, right?
Yeah,
that's basically your message there.
Visual communication, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where do you think people are missing the boat?
Yeah, I mean, we live in the age of where you can edit yourself, and it used to be really cool to do that, to be able to spend all this time crafting the photo, crafting the image. I think where people go wrong is thinking that their personality as isn't good enough to connect with people. And you couldn't be more wrong, because the more you try to edit yourself on video, not like edit like cut, but the more you try to create a persona that's not actually yours, the worse off you are. Really? So I think where people go wrong is they look at what other people are doing and they say, well, I want to try to do it like that, when that's not even them. That's not them.
Yeah.
They're not like a yacht owner, or like they're not like lavish. They're struggling. They're contemplating. They're thinking twice about what they believe, and that's okay. If they captured that, oh my God. The amount of vulnerability and connection you're going to create from that is going to be what you need to create these networks that we all need these days.
So do you think live is a better way of going now? Or?
I mean, they're all tactics. Like, to me, when people come to me saying, what video should I make? I always ask, well, what are you trying to do? Yeah. Like, what's your business objectives, brand, personal objectives? And then who are you? And then I could kind of diagnose people. I think live is great. I think live is great for trainings. I think live is great for interviews, giveaways, some of these certain things. Yeah. Not everything always, though.
Yeah, because, I mean, with like the podcast here, this is going to be edited. We cut out the ums, we cut out certain sections. You know, people start to they say a sentence and they screw it up and they go back to the beginning of the sentence. And I just think out of respect for the listener,
Exactly.
I want to cut it. I want to cut that part that doesn't really serve the story or whatever. But when you're doing live, you can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why certain videos need to be designed for live. I'm totally into editing. I jump cut my stuff like nobody's business. You know, I believe in not wasting a second of my viewers' time.
Well, how do we know when it's best to be live and when
like
it's
I said,
best to
I think
edit?
training is great live because you have the opportunity. I think the main thing that's cool about live is the interactivity. So I always do it when there's a moment where I can talk to people about something. So in training, if you downloaded my training videos, you don't get an opportunity to ask me anything. If I'm interviewing someone on a video, like you have an opportunity to now talk to Jack as we're interviewing. So I think there's certain opportunities for live that people would never have if it was in video form. But like you said, I think shooting and editing videos would be unless you're like a TV show, shooting and editing videos is a smart route to go so that people start associating you with value. And the more you waste their time with ums and long dragged out moments, the less value you're giving because time is such the asset, right?
Right. Well, what about giving people what they want the way they want it? So not everybody is a fan of consuming content by video. Some like audio, some like the written.
Sure.
What do you think, like, you should give people more choices in that, or is there enough people you can really just appeal to the ones that want what you're giving and the way you want to give it?
Yeah, so it's a great question. To me, it's you have to work off your consumer, but first you need to start out like, what is my brand and what is my business and how is it best represented? Because a lot of people, like even with video, it's hard to make video for YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. Like you got to kind of choose. You can't do everything. I really want a podcast. I like doing this.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a video nut, I think the opportunity to just give people a platform to passively consume something so they could listen to the podcast and do their dishes, like that whole passive thing, I love that because that's, again, caring for their time. But, there's like if you had a business that sold food, video is going to be your platform because you need to show it. It comes back to the whole footy or it never happened thing with skateboarding. Yeah.
Or you have to be like an outstanding storyteller with the detail so that people can visualize that. But you don't. It's kind of you don't have to be a great storyteller if they see it visually, because the visual is actually telling the story.
And that's the thing with video, right? Is we think, well, I can't shoot video because I'm not a great storyteller. But that's assuming that you need to be on camera storytelling. You can always just take a video, a 3-second video, a boomerang or whatever, of your meal, and boom, put it out. Like you didn't need. I think there's a qualm. Like I think people think they need to be on camera.
Yeah.
It's just not correct.
But some people also suck at video, right? I mean, they try to get on video, and it's just maybe not for them. Where audio might be their better way of expressing themselves. I mean, finding the modality for somebody to express who they are isn't necessarily always in one thing. So maybe somebody's just great with the written word, and they totally suck on audio. Yeah. Other people great on video. When clients come to you and stuff, can you kind of like identify that and say, hey, maybe there's a different medium for you besides video?
Sure, sometimes. But video to me isn't something you need to be good at to use. Like on podcasts, you got to be actually pretty good at talking if you want to do it. But video, I mean, it's like I didn't start.
I break that rule.
Yeah. Well, I didn't start video because I thought I was good at it. I started video because I need me jumping off those stairs captured. Yeah, it had nothing to do with talent behind the camera. It has to do with the medium of video and the power it has to just show things. So, they can go audio, but showing things, giving people a sense of your reality, it's like real life stuff. That's like saying, well, what if I'm not good at talking in person? What am I supposed to do? Hop on phone calls all day? It's like people aren't the best talkers, aren't the best connectors, yet they still come together and connect. And I think that the same etiquette needs to be used for video as well. It's like you might not be great at video or great at talking, but you still need to use it to give people portals into your reality.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I guess there's a skill too, or a comfortability that has to happen. So I look at my partner Ann. So she's an excellent writer.
I love Ann.
She's an excellent writer. But audio she's like, she can get on a teleseminar and keep people captivated for an hour, like no problem.
Yep.
Video is something that she's trying to expand into. You're helping her with that. I and she's in great hands with you, but that's way out of her comfort zone.
Sure.
But it's got to happen, right? I mean, we gotta,
Well, it's the whole idea of that, like, I won't say Ann, but let's say, Joe, the guy that comes up to me and says he sucks at video, I would tell him, yeah, you suck at video. Like, I feel like people are expecting me to say that they don't suck. Yeah, they do suck, but you suck at everything when you first start because you suck. But you start doing it so often, you start sucking so little that you're actually pretty good at it. So it's what are we willing, like the conversation is the wrong conversation of, am I good at this or am I not? The conversation that needs to happen is that if we don't go visual, it's very, we can assume that you're not going to survive. People are consuming content visually. 85% of content is going to be visual by 2020. So if we don't learn to connect with each other visually, I mean, it's not even about what you're comfortable with. It's the fact that we may not survive if we don't learn this medium. So we take it as a very serious thing, not like, is this right for you? Yeah. It's like you need to show people who you are because they're tired. The internet is noisy. You need to show. You can't just talk about it.
What do you think it is about, like, somebody starts a YouTube channel and it just like blows up, boom, and then others make video after video after video, and they're not getting the audience? What do you think the magic sauce is?
So for YouTube in particular, you're working off a couple different strategies. It's a very defensive platform, meaning that people kind of need to be looking for you for them to find you. So you can go, the SEO title, so build videos around what people are typing, or become a personality that people are looking for. I think the difference between someone not successful on YouTube and someone successful is fulfilling what people are looking for and making it interesting. Because all it needs to be is valuable and interesting, you know, for people to binge it. And I just I don't think people are actually making what people are looking for. Or at least they're not titling it what they're looking for, because headlines are everything on YouTube. Headlines, thumbnails.
I know. I like see these people who put out these videos, and even they look like they put like time into the video, and it's a good video, but then there's like no description, and the title is like vlog 4 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, they don't understand the platform.
But then there's also a lot of like YouTubers that say, they're like, nobody was watching their videos for quite some time. They just kept doing it and kept doing it. And eventually kind of word got out, and then they go back and they watch all the old videos. And
that's why you hit one. And once you hit one, I forgot, you probably know this better than I, but there's this article that was put out called like 1,000 True Fans. Ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the whole idea of, like, even if you didn't market yourself on the internet, if you just took the people you're connecting with in person and showed them your YouTube, eventually you're going to have 1,000 true fans, which is what you need to be massively successful.
Sure, and then the next step was to get them to pay $10 each, a month. And,
exactly. So, I mean, people treat their audience like this, like they're trying to get a lot of people, and they're not spending time thinking about the depth of each relationship, the actual connection and branding that's going on. They're thinking 55 views, I'm unsuccessful,
Right. I think it was back in 2007 or 2008. I started dabbling in YouTube, and I put out this one video, and I got it kind of took off. And which, wasn't a lot, I think it was like, 5,500 or something, people. And then I didn't get any benefit from it, really. It just kind of went out. And then I put out another video, and I had like 8 views, but I got 2 people that were interested in what I was offering.
Nice, yeah.
And those are like 8 people I wouldn't have reached otherwise.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was, there was it was a biz op kind of thing that I was doing, and there was a guy that was in Ann Arbor, which is an hour away, and I knew he wasn't going to. I just had a feeling he wasn't going to go for it. So I decided just to put the presentation together in a video, and I sent it to him, and he didn't go for it. But then I got somebody who was like on the other side of the world that did go for it. So I started to see some of the power there, and yet again, not a lot of views, but
exactly. Yeah,
I get your point.
Yeah, no, totally. When we teach video, we teach purpose first. So before you come up with these ideas or you make anything, like, what do you want these videos to do? And I think storytelling, right? We're thinking video is about building an audience, going on YouTube and becoming famous. Sometimes that's how we think, or getting enough views to where
celebrity status,
to where like it starts giving you business. But really, video should be thought about in 3 ways. One, as a time saver. So, like, take training we made a training video, right?
Yeah.
Teaching people how to use this podcast room.
Right.
Now that saves you. That not only saves you the time of not having to train people, but it does it better than you could, because it's showing them things and it's allowing them to re-watch it, and it's giving them the visual cues, and that allows learning to take place in a much more effective way than just using your precious time.
Yeah, and that was such an easy video to shoot.
So easy, because I just captured what you would have done anyways.
Right.
So it wasn't like us like setting up a production. It's like, train me. I'm gonna have my camera in my hands.
Yeah.
and we'll get it done. And it was effective. So you have videos that save time. Then you have videos that
not only was effective, is still ongoing. Effective.
Still effective. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time. It's very omnipresent. Next is boosting sales. So videos on sales pages increase conversions by 184%. Why is that? Can anyone tell? It's because you're letting people see what they're buying. You're actually giving them a sense of the product instead of just telling them about it. When people can see stuff, they want to buy it. And people, how could you hear that statistic and say, "Oh, well, I'm not good at video"? Like, bullshit. Like, do you want a business or not?
Right.
Because it's ridiculous. Like, it's money laying right there. Just point a camera at your dang, sofa or whatever you're trying to sell. It'll do so much more. And then the last is, and then on top of growing sales, you got video ads outperforming regular ads by 65%. You have a retention rate going way up.
Right.
Like, everything that drives a sale, if you put a video in there, you will increase. And then lastly is impact. So you could use video to truly connect and give to people, which giving, I mean, it's an interesting subject, because, like, for instance, when you open the door for someone, do you track the results of that or that person? No, you don't. You give because you know it's going to come back.
Gotcha.
So after you save that time and you increase your sales, I really encourage all my clients to just give, educate, and inspire, motivate, and watch what happens.
Right. You've touched on something I'd like to explore deeper, video ads. Now, where do you think is a good place to go with video ads? I mean, tell us about, or tell our viewers or listeners about what they can, some practical tips for video advertising.
Sure. Well, it's different for every business. You got to look at where your people are, but we'll subsidize it to Facebook for now, because it has, you got a couple billion people there.
Yeah. And do you think Facebook is the best place to go for video ads right now?
In a holistic sense, yes. I got to look at different businesses. If you have like a tampon company or something, I think there might be rules or something. I don't know. But as like a holistic, yes, I think you can find all your users there. There's 2 billion people, 1 out of every 4 people. You can target those people. You can the targeting is insane. But as far as practical tips, this is what I'll say. You need to hook people visually and emotionally right up front. Okay. So your hooks need to be set in place. Like, you've scrolled and you see something or you hear what they're saying and you're like, okay, I'm hooked. You got to qualify yourself.
Well, okay. Just let's slow down a little bit. The hook. I mean, give me an example of a hook.
Yeah, like, are you tired of being a slob and a loner? That's kind of emotional. You know, like, things that kind of jerk people.
Yeah.
I was just shooting an ad, or actually we're shooting it tonight. I was planning it yesterday. And this girl just didn't want to say certain things that that they would agitate her audience. And what you got to realize is, in the world of the 8-second attention span and thousands of pieces of content, you have to hook.
Can't be blah, blah.
Yeah, it can't just be blah, blah.
Yeah.
Even though you have great value, it's like, it's all about the wrapping paper, right? So you hook. You could do that emotionally, visually. You could, like, be in a room with, like, 1,000 candles, or I don't know, something that would look cool.
Yeah.
Make people say, wow, what is that? So your
Okay.
hook up front. This is just basic. Obviously, you could do it a million ways. Another thing is to qualify yourself. So to make sure people know that, because it's all about, in business, it's all about getting people to rely on you for the subject that your expertise is around. Because if you're the podcast guy, they don't want to have to feel like they're going to have to go somewhere else. They want to know that everything about podcasting you can help them solve. So
A one-stop shop.
one-stop
Okay.
shop. That's where people
Okay.
are most comfortable just outsourcing their attention and money to you.
Okay.
So qualifying yourself is super important. You could do it in very subtle ways. Like Crystal, my client yesterday, I think her hook was like, "Are you tired of feeling like you have to be a man to run your business, to be more like a man?" And she's like, "I swear, every million that I made in my business, I felt like I was becoming more and more like a man." See, that was like a story, yet it qualified her, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know that she's taken millions of dollars into her business.
Yeah.
So the whole idea of qualifying. The third part is value. This is totally optional. So in your ad, you can choose to actually do some training or give them some value. You don't have to. I don't a lot of the time because I want to make it quick. And then your call to action. So you got a hook, you got qualify, you got optional value, and you have a call to action.
All
You
right.
just throw it up there.
Careful, don't go all pull Orphala
Oh,
on
sorry.
me.
Sorry.
The table banging. 'Cause, yeah,
That's okay.
it's all good. All right. So, I mean, that's like a basic formula,
Basic, yeah.
but it can be different for whatever business you may be in.
Yeah.
And then, but the fundamentals are pretty much always there.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I saw this ad earlier today of a guy just in slow motion, just like screaming, and that was it. It was just like a super long slow mo video. That hooks me. That I guess you could say that the quality and the targeting qualified them.
Sure.
There was a call to action on the page. It wasn't in the video, so I mean, you could kind of say that these elements are in there.
Yeah.
You can go outside of it, dude. Like, not by any means take that formula for every single thing. You might come up with a better idea, but that's the formula I use.
Yeah, so I mean, one of the big, I mean, you get some of these videos that just go big, go viral. So like the Shave Club, the Dollar Shave Club.
Yep.
I mean, you're familiar with that video,
Yep.
right? So not only did you probably watch it, but you probably shared it.
Yep.
I mean, and that just blew up. What do you think those key elements there were that made that so successful?
I mean, I think the key elements behind making anything widely spread is being prolific. And I think to be in this zone of being prolific, you got to be right between mainstream and freaking crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you got to be borderline like nuts.
Yeah, not only ours are they good? No, they're blank great.
Yeah, they're like, if you look at all the big movements,
Yeah.
all the big videos, it's all like people that are borderline nuts. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like a crazy idea, but just crazy. Like bulletproof coffee.
Yeah.
Like the butter in the coffee.
Yep.
Like, that's kind of nuts. But just, I'll try that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's all these things, like one that my
But
mentor.
you can't just come out just crazy like a used car commercial, in the old days where they used to just scream at the screen and say, my prices are so low, they're insane. They're just trying to be louder than everybody else. I mean, it has to have some depth to it as well.
Well, the big question is branding, right? So,
Yeah.
so how we teach branding is we say a brand is what people talk about when you're not in the room. So the question that we have to ask ourselves as content creators, marketers, and entrepreneurs is, what do we want people to say about us, and what can we create? Because you don't own your brand. I mean, it lives in the hearts and minds of the marketplace. So how do you create things that influence that conversation? So it's hard to say, like, if the used car, it just depends. Like, what do you want people to say about you, man, when you're not in the room? And then and then I kind of work from there and say, well, if we put this into place, I'm pretty sure they're going to say something like that.
Yeah. And then I guess trends are important too. There's trend jacking. There's just knowing when things
the mannequin challenge
things
was
are
huge. You
changing.
remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did
that
a couple
was
of
big.
those. Those are cool.
Yeah. I remember in the automotive industry when everything was circus themed and stuff like that, and then Saturn came out, and Disruptor changed the industry. Everybody had to get more professional. And then sometimes that more professional, I mean, the way you were explaining earlier, it actually make it harder because you're not on the border. They're trying to tame it down. Now, the car industry needed to be that way because you didn't want to go in and, people are just sick of of that and the
raunchiness,
negotiation and all that stuff. Saturn, said, "Yeah, we're not negotiating. Prices are listed right here. We're professional. We're going to take care of you. No worries," and all that stuff. So, but I can see like that could be harder to advertise because isn't part of the advertising like getting seen, right?
Yeah.
And when you're trying to conform to what is, that could be difficult. Like
Totally, yeah.
Like a chiropractor isn't. I mean, I guess you have to take different approaches for different things.
Absolutely.
But the important thing is to make somebody feel something. How do you make them feel something?
Well, the question is, would they feel something if they were with you? Like, let's take car dealerships. Let me tell you what I think car dealerships need to be doing with video in particular.
Oh, this is great. Cool.
Yeah, they need to stop trying to market their car dealerships and invest in the networks of their salesmen. So every salesman should be like, how did car dealerships get this name of being this raunchy place when buying a car is like one of the biggest things, one of the biggest purchases one makes? It's a special moment, yet the car industry, the brand of it, the conversation of it is that it's like a sales thing. But that doesn't mean that those special moments aren't there. So what the car salesmen need to do are capture these special moments and rebrand the dealership, because the dealership itself can't capture those moments. Only the salesman can. So the second you give salesmen phones and teach them how to capture these videos, you're going to invest in the personal networks of them. Imagine a salesman with a ton of friends.
Yeah.
That all know he's a car guy. And he knows, like, when you buy a car from him, you get this cool video of you hopping into your car and you actually get to know him. That kind of marketing is what car dealerships need. They need to invest in the networks of their salesmen.
Now, you just touched on something. You said phone.
Yeah.
You didn't say, like, $1,000, $2,000 camera,
that's way
and
too
the
hard,
audio
man.
equipment
Way
and
too
all
hard.
that stuff. So I really want you to convey to our audience about that. Just convince them that they don't need all that shit. Right?
No, absolutely not. You don't need it. In 2010 when the iPhone 4S came out, that was my moment. I knew. I was like, oh my God, these phones are about to integrate. It's pretty important to understand one thing, and that's that the video industry, these professionals, they weren't designed to help entrepreneurs or business. They work in big teams. They are expensive. They take a long time. They don't know marketing. They don't know business. They're not designed for this. So here we have the most powerful tool, totally inaccessible by businesses, the people who need it most.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, if this is about sharing our reality and showing people what we have to offer, then how could you do that with a super large camera? How could you have the time to authentically bring people with you in life using cameras and equipment that you know nothing about? Like, cameras for me was hard to learn.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I thought, this is a few years ago, but I thought I needed to go out and buy a DSLR.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I needed to get the boom mic, and, I had a juice linked audio converter on the bottom of this thing, and I had all this stuff. And then it was the complexity of it. I mean, it wasn't huge, but it was just like, oh shit, I lost a good moment because the battery was dead in this, and I didn't have it quite hooked up correctly, or
it's
something
ridiculous.
like that.
You have a phone on you. It's with you everywhere you go. Yeah. And on top of that, dude, the phone videos are incredible.
Yeah, really good.
I mean, you got dual facing, you got selfie cam, you have slow mo, you have time lapses, you have video. In December 2015, I knew all I wanted to do in 2017 was teach video on a phone. So I spent all of 2016 shooting videos on phones. I sold all my equipment, shot a bunch of videos on phones, shot for 8 multi-million-dollar businesses using my phone.
It's crazy because I had the same thing. Like we shot a video for Ann's father's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
All the family members were sending them in, and we didn't have time to set up the DSLR and all that. I just did it on the phone, and we got reactions from the other family members saying, "Oh, well, if I had the fancy DSLR and all that stuff, I could have done a video like that." But it wasn't phone. It was just the phone.
Yeah,
and
it's just a story, man.
Yeah,
people think they need it. I mean, it's.
But there still is the fundamentals of making good videos and stuff like that. Even though you have a phone, without your training, stuff like that, I mean, you can still put out some crap. And
totally.
Audio is really important, right?
Yeah,
and
audio is very important. Yeah. But the question becomes, like I said, we all start at purpose. Like, I train people how to grow their business with their phone. I don't go into the whole like make videos like Sebastian here, who's in the room with us, TSLR. I'm not training them how to be like Sebastian. I'm training them to grow their business. If they want to make great videos that are just like flawless, well, that's not my program. My program is about growing your business. So do what I say and it's going to grow. So the audio, yeah, it's important. All these things are important for a great video, but to grow your business, not always the most important.
Right.
You need some of these other elements.
But there is a time and a place to hire a film crew.
Sure. Yeah.
And
So like a lot of your defense videos, the videos that are going to sit there for a long amount of time and constantly be there to answer people's questions, I think it's worth producing well and making it a good experience.
So if I put out a video program, I'm better off to spend the time to do something of quality then, or...
Yeah, I mean, I kind of would, but you don't need to. As long as if you had a program teaching people how to how to be a successful entrepreneur, to start up the right way. Let's say we'll call it the perfect startup program.
Yeah.
And you had this program and you had these things. What do people really need to know to be the perfect startup, to start up perfectly?
Yeah,
they don't need like a great video. They need to learn what you know. So this idea of video being the product, it's wrong. Your advice, your expertise, your help is the product. The video is just the vehicle.
Right, and isn't overproduction sometimes can lead to a negative result? Because some of the like when we were doing some marketing and we did some split testing and the one. The guy had the tie on and his hair was all nice and everything. Yep. The other one, the guy had a T-shirt on and his hair was messed up. And then that was the only change in the lead page. And they were going after they're clicking more on the one that had the messed up hair.
Who was the audience? Do you remember?
Oh, geez, I don't know. It was
who you're going
a while
after.
Back.
Yeah, because the idea is like which one's going to connect with people more.
Yeah.
So if it's like a car salesman, if you're marketing, I saw a guy marketing a car salesman, dude, being in a suit, like car salesmen get off on that, dude. I think car salesmen love dressing up.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about it, but they love like a person in a suit letting them know like what to do. So yeah, it's all about the audience to me.
Yeah. But where do you think like overproduction can hurt?
Yeah, a lot of places, dude. The whole idea of overproduction is like, it gives the feeling of this is planned.
Yeah.
This
not natural.
Yeah, well, kind of. Yeah, we start getting into that gray space. But the idea is like, well, if you have a guy behind the camera and you have multiple angles, this is obviously a planned thing.
Yeah.
Now, so are movies though. Movies are planned. Sure. Yet they still create emotion. So the question is like, how are you navigating and using this planned space to make something work? Because we do a lot of planned videos.
Sure.
But with that said, we try to do things that still create that emotion, still hook people, still qualify us, do all those things. So it's all about the purpose. And after understanding the purpose of that particular video, then kind of realizing, does this even need a big production? Is that going to hurt it? Because people just, inside their bed having this late midnight thought with their phone right there, that's powerful.
Right.
And if you set up a camera, like, come on, that's planned.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you kind of even saw it like in the porn industry, right? Like,
sure.
They had these these big high production things, and then people,
Is that right?
Some of the people started.
Is that right?
Not an expert in porn or anything, but it seemed like there's a big boost in the homemade.
Sure.
Like they wanted to see more authentic.
Yeah, because it's something they would make. In fact, they probably already made something like that, so they could relate with it more.
Right. How much of your production is that? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, there's a story. I've never shot a porn video, but there are stories around that. People trying to bid on me.
Ah, gotcha. Crazy. It's a new world we live in. So, I mean, what about the people who say they're really worried about what they put out there because it's going to be out there forever? Like it doesn't go away.
Sure.
If they put out something they can cringe about in 4 years. Today they might think, oh, that was cool. Yeah, that was great. They put that out there. And then 4 years from now, they're like, ooh, I don't like that message that I put out there and stuff. And yeah.
So there's two things. One is, are you willing, you got to ask yourself this question. Are you willing to be vulnerable with your audience and share things with them as you would in real person?
Yeah.
Because if you're willing to share with your audience and you're willing to be vulnerable, then who you were yesterday isn't a question. The second thing is that it's very powerful for people to see the arc of your growth, and there is no growth when you don't show the struggle, like when you don't show these flaws. I have so many videos that I hope you don't watch on YouTube, but they're there because I want you to know that I've been working. I'm trying to earn people's trust and respect in business, and I can't do that unless I show them that I've been doing this for a while. And although the stuff I don't like, it's like it gives a context to show that I'm not new at this. I might have sucked before, but I'm definitely not new at it.
Right. Yeah. So you do a lot of vlogging. Where are you publishing the vlogs? I mean, are they mostly on Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook, YouTube. We're, just opened up my new business.
Now, what is it, Facebook or YouTube? I mean, like...
Facebook drives curiosity, YouTube's the destination. So I use Facebook to create leads. I use Facebook to introduce myself to people, but I drive them into like the Facebook group or the YouTube channel or our email list. Places that I can now have them.
So you consider us vlogging right now? You have cameras in our thing. Are we vlogging right now?
Yeah, I would. So there's a difference between vlogging and vlogs. So let me get that across.
Yeah.
Vlogging is kind of the art and science of capturing and broadcasting moments. Okay, so if we just took out our phone and just showed something and posted it, we would be essentially vlogging. A vlog is more of a formal montage of moments, like edited throughout the day, or you could vlog an event, or it's kind of more edited. But right now, we're totally vlogging. I don't know exactly. Obviously, I could repurpose this for a million things. I think we're just going to post this up raw on YouTube, but we can also cut some of the sound bites into different things. But it all comes from documenting first and then realizing where it goes later.
All right. So you think this might end up on YouTube, not Facebook? Or
sound bites may go on Facebook, but I don't think anyone with Facebook can handle a 45-minute discussion. Right below cat videos and things like that.
Right. So you would post this as a 45-minute
on YouTube?
Yeah. Because people will be interested.
People watch movies on that. No, I mean it's a destination.
People even search for longer ones.
They search,
right? Because sometimes they figure longer ones might have more depth to it or something like that.
And YouTube's a place where you can put a movie in or a longer video and just click full screen and sit back and not have to worry about constantly researching stuff. Facebook's a feed.
Now I'm more nervous. I'm with the camera.
It's just something you got to get over. I got over it.
Yeah.
I'm more.
What helps people to get over themselves?
Realizing that it's selfish to worry about how you're feeling. You should be worrying about the people you can help, because if you're more committed and invested in helping people and getting your message to them, you wouldn't worry about how you look. You wouldn't worry about being on video because you care too much about that other person, and you know that if you got that video out, that you might help somebody. So I think it's selfishness that keeps people from not wanting to be on video.
Okay, and then there's production though that sometimes, I recently did some filming, and everybody I showed the preliminaries to were like, your hair's messed up in there, it's like distracting me. There's the whole idea of them not knowing the purpose of the video. It's like webinars. Have you ever done a webinar? Sure. So in a webinar, one of the main things you need to know about doing a webinar is to tell the person what they're supposed to learn at the end of it, so that they don't start, because if you do a webinar and you just start training and you don't tell people exactly a promise of what they're going to be able to do, they're going to start judging and measuring the webinar based off what they think. They're going to say, well, this guy talks too slow, or this guy has bad quality slides. But if you say this webinar is to help you learn this subject, then you've given them the tools to measure the success of it. No, wait a minute. In the beginning of it? You should be telling at the beginning of your webinars, my promise is that by the end of this webinar, you're going to learn how to grow your business using videos. That way, it doesn't matter if my slides or my hair is messed up. Did you learn? I just told you what the webinar is about. I didn't tell you I told you I was going to help you with this. So I think when we just show each other videos and we don't really explain what it's supposed to do, even in our own mind, we're open to all this criticism, and it's all valid because you didn't tell me what it was for anyways. Right. So webinars is a visual medium, and you gave us a little bit of tips on that. You have more tips for webinars? Yeah. I mean, webinars is a very rare thing, right? Because it still converts to this day doing webinars, yet they're 45 minutes. Yeah.
Like how is that? How can that
Right.
be?
Or Frank Kern's videos that go on for like 2 hours
Yeah,
sometimes.
exactly. And it's a couple things. One is the live aspect, so people feel like they're live with you. Maybe sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't.
So do you think it's bullshit to have those like ones that are supposed to be live but they're not really live? Or
there's a in the marketing community, it's a very it's a talked about subject. I have recurring webinars. I make them seem live. I don't go as far to say it is live.
Yeah.
But I do. It is a live experience. But yeah, for people that say like, I don't know, there are some ethical things there where if you tell someone it's live and it's re-recording every hour, you gotta just use your own judgment there.
It seems a little crazy. They're live, and we're having 3 today and 2 tomorrow. And, you know, it's like,
but I believe in having webinars run every hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. The show up rate increases by 80%. And it's nuts. It's because, like, you know, when you set it for July 29th at 5 p.m., it's, you know, how many people are going to be able to make that? But if you show it, you know, 22 minutes after they sign up, chances are they might have that time.
Okay. So break that down for me, will you? Like, so it's a lead page, some form of lead squeeze page, whatever.
Yeah. So video ad. Run a video ad. They kind of opt in their email to you, and there's, you know, it probably shows them that
right,
there's.
Well, let's go down. Let's break it down slower. Okay.
Sure.
So video ad on Facebook takes them to landing page where there's another video, right?
Sure. Yeah, you can put videos on landing pages. You don't need them as much on a landing page, because all you want to do is get them to give you their email. And if you take them too far off that mindset, then they're not going to do it.
Okay.
But yeah, say like, video.
So opt in for a webinar.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what's the next step? They choose their time, and you give them all kinds of times?
Yeah, different times. So there's different ways you could do it depending on your software. They could choose a time, and then it shoots off an email sequence. Sometimes you opt in your email, and it puts you right into a waiting room where there's like a countdown leader, and then boom, it pops. Another thing is there's all. I mean, you get this all the time. There's always emails with replays.
Sure.
So I mean, you can ensure people see it in a different way. But the point of
then replay, you want to make sure that they're not available for too long, because then people think, oh, I can just watch it whenever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the whole thing with webinars. You got to make it seem
so to get even more detailed, do you use ClickFunnels to do that?
To host? Yeah, I use like a ClickFunnels page sometimes for it to be on. But you know what? I'm really liking EverWebinar.
EverWebinar.
You've heard that software?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a software built for creations of live experiences. You know, it makes the whole thing seamless.
Sure.
ClickFunnels isn't a webinar software. Right. They've provided a nice solution for it, which I know a lot of millionaires who use it and do it fine. But EverWebinar is what I use.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's different softwares to do different things.
Right.
But I really recommend webinars. They're the highest converting for high ticket sales. Like
Let me ask you a few more details too. Like, what about your email provider? I mean, what do you use as for your?
I use Actionetics.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the thing that comes with ClickFunnels. They've kind of revolutionized the way we think about. It's not even emails. It's like emails mixed with CRM, customer relationship management, and as well as it takes funnel data. So with Actionetics, I could, for instance, I could set up email sequences. So like, opt into this, and you're going to get 5 days worth of emails. But you can also do things like, you know, if this person on my list visits my page more than 3 times, then I want you to send a message, a voicemail to my assistant, telling them to set up a time with this guy. So Actionetics does more than emails. Like, it does actions. Like, it can say, if this guy visits me 2 times, put him in a Facebook group, or put him in a Facebook pixel and market him this video. Yeah. So I use Actionetics. It does more than email. It does all these actions.
I mean, everybody has their weapons of choice, right? You know.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I mean, you could do those things. Like, you haven't mentioned anything to me that I can't do in Entreport or
Infusionsoft is just confusing to me, man. There's so many things you could do. Like with me, I'm more simple. I like simplicity. I'm not the smartest. Like, I don't have the most focus, put it that way. So it's hard for me to dive in deep with those kinds of things. I just like I like the simplicity of ClickFunnels.
Right. Okay. Tell me about that. I mean, you mentioned that you don't have the most. I mean, everybody has things that seem like they might be a deficit that can actually be like a superpower.
Sure.
Like
Totally.
you look at Paul Orfalea, he says, his parents spent $65 on every word he's ever read because he's so dyslexic and stuff
Did
like that.
they really do that?
That's that's what he says.
Okay.
That's
Damn.
just, but then, again, he's so successful and everything. And you look at Richard Branson, who has dyslexia and stuff like that. And he's so successful. I mean, what do you think that might be conceived as a negative, but actually is a positive for you?
For me?
Yeah.
My attention
Personally.
span.
Yeah.
I have two different attention spans. Okay. One when I care about something, one when I don't. Like this interview, I'm super focused. Like, it's not like I'm not really thinking about anything else. I could sit in meeting rooms for hours with people. But like, for instance, video, I can't, like, if a video isn't captivating me, I won't watch it. And that's why, like, everything we make runs through my filter, because if I can't watch it, I'm not expecting anyone else to watch it.
Gotcha.
So my low attention span has actually helped us make better products because the guy leading the pack has a small attention span.
I totally believe that.
Yeah, so my videos, they're quicker, they're built for not just, it's people like me. There's so many people like me that have this low attention span. Attention span used to be 22 minutes in the 80s. Now it's like less than 8 seconds. So I very much think I'm building I build videos for the new era of consumption.
Okay. Just some real quick things here. What do you think the right time is for for the certain videos? So, if it's a video ad, do you think there's a certain amount of time that is?
I mean, there's some data around that. 30 to 60 seconds.
Really?
In my experience, I'll give you a couple. 30 to 60 seconds is always great. 15 to 60 seconds is great for video ads.
Like on Facebook.
In a very vague kind of way. But then you got Russell Brunson doing the 4 to 7 minute trainings. See, the thing is do you add value or not? Because if you're adding value in the ad, then you're almost making the ad the destination. So you can take it to 4, 7, 10 minutes if there's value there. But yeah, I would keep it very short. I mean, the people listening to this probably aren't expert video people or can, want to mess. Because in video, you want to be able to split test things, so you want to be able to make a lot. Just make them short.
Yeah.
Just make them short.
Okay.
You can't go wrong with going short, right?
Okay. So then the video ad that goes to maybe a sales page or something. What's a sales video? You said you talked about the stats going way up when you put a sales video on a sales page. How long should a sales video be?
So first off, it kind of depends on how indoctrinated and committed they are at this point. Like, we have a 3-part video series coming out. And then it's going to a sales video. By that point, I feel like we've earned a lot of attention and that we could take it a little longer.
Yeah.
Sales videos, I mean, when I first started learning sales video sales letters, things like that, usually go like 10 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
Ours goes 5 minutes. So the real, this is a famous line that we use in video marketing, which is, I think I heard you say this, but video should be as like a woman's skirt. Long enough to cover the subject, but short enough to keep it interesting.
No, that wasn't me. But
but that's the whole topic. Yeah. It's like it's got to be long enough to cover.
I'd be talking about ripping the skirt off. That would be more me.
I know, but that's
right.
But yeah, that's the idea. Is like it's got to be long enough to actually cover things, but keep it interesting.
Sure. Okay. You look at guys like Jeff Walker, what is it? The
product launch formula.
Yeah, and then you look at Brendan Bouchard and some of those guys. So I mean, they're giving people like those 4-part video series that are really long videos each one, and then at the end, they're telling them to buy their $2,000 program and stuff. And they have some great programs. I mean, I'm not knocking them and stuff. But do you think the higher the ticket, the longer the video, the sales process should be, or do you think there's some logic to that? Yeah,
well, with Jeff Walker, he's more all about getting certain elements into place, like building the community, creating scarcity, reciprocity, authority. So I would say yes, and I would say yes because if you're going high ticket, you need people to have a high amount of trust in you. And for them to have trust in you, you rather A, have to spend time with them, or B, start your relationship in such a way that just like, imagine if we never met and we were out in the parking lot and you were about to get ran over by a semi and I saved you. That's probably going to get our relationship pretty strong pretty quick.
Right.
So if you could do that, that's great. But normally the way you build relationships is you just sit with someone for a little bit. Yeah. So I would say kind of, yeah. I'd actually say yeah to that. Just spend some time with them.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me think about this for a moment. I just want a couple of questions at the end. Is there anything you think I should have covered that we haven't covered here?
Maybe like where people can start.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm a newbie video guy, or like I've never done video before in my life.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a business?
Yes.
What's your business?
Oh, what do we want to make up? Should I tell you what my business is, or should we make something up?
Just make something up, or think about someone in the hub or something.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I sell a machine that makes water from air.
Wow, that is incredible, man. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Cool. So, so if you want to start doing that with video, there's a lot of things you could do. I mean, it depends on if you're bought into going visual and you want to do the long-term game, or if you want to just shoot a video to see if it works. Which one have you bought into video, or you just want to see if it works?
Yeah, I'm just trying to picture where our listeners are. You know, I mean, somebody who's never done video before in their life. You know, they might have whatever to sell. I mean, everybody in business is selling something. You know, they got to be a salesperson. How does the video going to assist them in doing that?
Mm-hmm. So something I talk about in my training is that before you get into the world of what to create, you should look inward of what you're communicating already. That could be videotaped. And then used over and over and over again. So the first thing you should do with video when you first start is just kind of monitor your day and your week and see, wow, I am really repeating that over and over again. And so it's
something like I'm telling all my clients about all the time.
Sure, that's a good place to start.
That'd be a good place to make a video. And I should just get out my phone?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
All right. So I get out my phone, and I have my iPhone or my Android phone. I record.
Yep.
What should I edit this video with?
If you're doing it on your phone, I always recommend Adobe Clip.
Okay.
It works for Android and Apple, and it's the mobile version of Adobe Premiere.
All right.
So I have high hopes that they're going to evolve it and work on it. So you always want to kind of commit to a program that you know is going to listen to the people. So Adobe Clip works good.
How much is that app?
It's between free and $0.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's free.
Nice.
It's completely free.
Nice. All right. And what if they're doing it on desktop?
Adobe Premiere.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You think Adobe Premiere is easy enough for most people
absolutely.
To jump right into?
Yeah, I've made hundreds of videos just using pretty much the same two tools, the pointer tool and the cut tool.
Okay.
Yeah, you can obviously, because everyone's going to try to make it complicated, but you don't need to.
Yeah.
If you're in this to grow your business and help people, then you don't need to have like these crazy videos.
Adobe Premiere, how much is that?
$20 a month.
$20 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But if they don't have that or don't want to just commit to $20 a month right now,
sure.
Usually their computers now have some kind of
editing.
Like
PCs have Movie Maker, Macs have iMovie, all work.
Yeah.
I just, especially for Macs, I like Premiere so much more than iMovie. iMovie has confused me. I've tried it. Right. I think I try using it once a year. And it hasn't clicked with me. It's not as intuitive to me as Premiere.
Right. 2 tips for YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah. For one, think of it as an archive first. So before you try to go famous, think of it as a place to just archive your stuff to where you could send people to later.
Yeah.
And then another thing is let's see, YouTube. Use it to. Oh, I got a good one.
Yeah.
Video speed ranking. So if you got a subject that people are looking for, put that, like, who were we talking about this morning? Santa Barbara Tinting. This is a tint company.
Yeah.
Make a video that's titled Santa Barbara Tinting - your business's name. Put it on YouTube. Backlink your website and then circulate that YouTube video so that when people on Google type in Santa Barbara Tint, they see the video on first page.
Gotcha.
Videos on the first page, not even page 1, or I mean slot 1. If it's on slot 8, it will get clicked 8 times more than being link number 1. People want to see video.
Gotcha.
So speed ranking is another YouTube trick.
And guys, make sure that you put in the HTTPS.
Sure.
Make sure that link you put in your description is clickable.
Yep.
Okay, so what about 2 tips for Facebook videos?
Ooh, I love Facebook video. Go live, for one. You know, I have this little secret training inside my program called five ways to get better in front of camera. And one of the secret tips is to go live. I mean, and don't go live for other people. Go live for you. Go live for the fact that, because when you're shooting on your video, you know you could do as many times as you want. But if you're live, you can't do it over again.
Do it.
Yeah, you can't do it again.
Yeah,
so
leap of faith.
Live helps on Facebook.
Okay.
And then another thing is open up a fan page so that you can have the opportunity to target.
Gotcha.
So without a fan, but with that said, I think personal pages are so important. On a fan page, there's no community. There's just people following you. You don't get to look at the lives of the people following you. So get a fan page so that you can target and boost posts to the people you want to help most.
Cool. All right. How do our listeners get your program?
Ooh, my program.
Yeah.
Well, you can go. My program's called Go Visual, and it's a program built for entrepreneurs and business owners who want to harness the power of video for their business. And basically, you just use your smartphone. You learn all the strategies of how to use video. I give you 8 examples of different videos to make. I actually make them for 8 different businesses. You watch me edit them, and then I show you how to implement them. So it's pretty much, if you want to grow your business and go visual, buy this program. You can go through my free training at govisualnow.com. And that'll bring you through the free training. And then which will do a lot for it by itself. And if you want to take it all the way, I'll introduce you to my program.
Okay. Real quickly before I let you go, you're doing some other kind of big things. Do you want to talk about any
Sure,
big things you're
we
doing?
just signed the biggest contract of our life for a documentary.
Nice.
And we're really excited to do that. I can't say everything about it, but it's a documentary that's going to really address the problems of poverty and how we address that as a community of people and charities. And
now, Nick, did you ever think when you started making videos, doing skateboarding and stuff like that you would ever be filming a fucking documentary?
Yeah, man. I get asked
vision?
this question very often, and I got to be honest with you, man. When I was young, I knew that I could do whatever I wanted. So I might not have thought documentary, but I always thought I could do what I wanted.
Right
so I don't know. No, documentary didn't come. I love documenting things though. So naturally, I've already done a documentary.
Yeah.
A little plug. Get this kid out of here. Documentary. YouTube.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Well, how long was that documentary? I mean, that's not
28
like this,
minutes,
right?
Or was it 18 or 28? 28 minutes.
Yeah.
Or 18.
But it's not like what you're doing now.
Oh, no, this is for a client. No, the other one I went around the country and with my boy, Jacob, who also helps you out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, got a documentary. That's awesome. I'm producing down some programs for people. I'm kind of flirting with the idea of not just showing people how to market with video, but actually how to sell videos. So actually making video the product as well. So I'm building some signature programs for people, going to start a mastermind group. And I'm just building my team. I'm really trying to understand how to be a better leader. I've been kind of a lone wolf, outsourcing things up to this point, and spending a lot of my time thinking about how to get my team more motivated and how to make their lives more towards what they want.
Really cool. All right. Well, thank you for coming on today. I really want to have you on to share your experience after you've got this documentary out.
Yes.
So you can come back and let us know all your everything you learned along that experience.
Yeah, that's I can't wait to learn the things that I'm gonna talk about.
Right on.
All right, thank you, Jack.
Thanks, man.